Hi, it's Jenna from Little Dreams Consulting. Today we're going to be talking about newborn sleep. Now, this can be a bit of a controversial topic. This is not going to be how to get your newborn to sleep through the night. It's literally just going to be a few goals, and we're going to separate them up into the first 6 weeks and then age 6 to 12 weeks. Now, like I said, do not think this is something that you have to do all the time. Newborns are a very different type of baby. If you have a look at our video about the 4-month sleep regression, you'll see why. But there's some goals that we can work towards with older newborns. Talking about new newborns, so 0 to 6 weeks, you just need to come home, you need to relax and rest and get used to being a family of 3 or 4 or 5 or however many little ones that you have. So when you bring your newborn home, you just need to make sure that you relax and that you recover. If you think, we could maybe try a little bit of something, just teach your little one the difference between night and day. Now, like I said, this is 0 to 6 weeks of newborns. So you would make the day really bright, loud, chatty. If you're tired, put the television on. If you have a toddler, they'll do that job for you. And then make the night feeds really boring and quiet. Absolutely not here to say don't look at your baby or anything like that, but if you're going to chat to your baby, talk really quietly and just make them quite dull, quite boring, keep them dim. Try not to look at your phone, although I know it is nice in the middle of the night to feel like you've got other people there, but that will also help you get back to sleep again and not disturb your little one too much. So that's what we're going to try and do. That's the only goal that we're going to work towards in that 0 to 6 weeks, other than recovering and getting used to being this new family. In the 6 to 12 week old newborns, there's 3 goals that we can work towards, but only if you're feeling up to it. So the first one is to try and practice, and I use that word very, very strongly, practice. This is not something that you have to do all the time. Just try and practice putting your little one down to sleep without them being reliant upon something. So for example, don't feed them to sleep every time. Don't push them in the pushchair or the pram every time. Just pop them down and see what happens. If they've had a really good feed, they're dry, they're warm, all of those sorts of things, pop them in their Moses basket or their cot, wherever they're sleeping, and see what happens. They might have a grumble and fall off to sleep. If they don't, pick them up, cuddle them, get them to sleep. But we're just going to see what happens. So that's your first goal. Your second is a feed, play, sleep pattern. And again, that's just to encourage your little one not to feed to sleep. Now, your newborn will feed to sleep. So please don't worry if that happens quite often, but maybe practice for a nap or for bedtime. Try and not allow them to feed to sleep every single time. Try and rouse them before you pop them in their cot. And then the third goal is a bedtime routine. Now, you can do this at any point, but if you haven't done it by around 8 to 10 weeks, I would suggest introducing a bedtime routine. And then you can also work backwards a little bit, because awake times are really important for little ones. So your under 6-week-old may only be able to stay awake for around an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. Between 6 and 12 weeks, maybe an hour to an hour and a half at a push. But if you have a little bedtime routine, you then have a rough idea and you can schedule your day ever so slightly and gently if you feel that that works for you. So your bedtime routine could be something like a little bath. You may not want to bath your newborn every night because of their sensitive skin or delicate skin. So maybe even just a couple of ducks in a sink and just wash hands and faces. Taking them to where they're going to be sleeping, maybe some moisturizer, sleep suit on, and then their feed. Try and get a little story or a couple of pages of a book in between that feed and going into their cot. But a bedtime routine can be really lovely, and that can set a really good habit for when they get a little bit older. So that's all we're going to talk about in relation to newborns. Like I said, I can't stress enough. These are just things to practice. They are goals to practice. Your newborn will fall asleep feeding. She will fall asleep in the pushchair or the car or pretty much anywhere. So just be very, very kind to yourself. If once your little one has gone through the development of sleep cycles, or the 4-month sleep regression, as everyone calls it, have a look at our video, have a look at our blogs and all of our Instagram and Facebook channels. But if you need more help, do get in touch with us. And of course, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.